What if your thoughts are not just private whispers inside your head? What if every thought you generate is a force, subtle, invisible, yet capable of influencing light, matter, and space itself? For centuries, yogis have claimed that the mind is not confined to the skull and the consciousness is not limited to the body. Modern science laughs at this idea, yet keeps stumbling into experiments that quietly suggest something unsettling. Stay with me till the end of this video, because by then you may realize that the boundary between thought and matter is far thinner than you were ever taught to believe. We were taught from childhood that thoughts are harmless. They exist only as electrical impulses in the brain. They cannot touch the world. They cannot alter reality. But this belief itself is an assumption, not a proven fact. Every thought is an electromagnetic event. Every neuron fires with electrical charge. Every charge produces a field. Yogic sciences observed this long before electrodes existed. They did not see thoughts as abstract ideas. They saw them as subtle forces capable of organizing or disturbing the fabric of life. Modern physics stumbled into a strange realization through experiments with light. At the quantum level, particles behave differently when observed. Light acts like a wave until it is measured. Then it behaves like a particle. This shocked scientists because it suggested something radical. Observation itself affects physical reality. Yogic traditions were not surprised. They had always maintained that consciousness is not a passive witness. It is an active participant in creation. In Mystic Musings, Sadhguru once said, "Your thought is not just psychological, it has an existence of its own." This statement unsettles modern thinking because it challenges the idea that matter is primarily and mind is secondary. In yogic understanding, consciousness precedes matter. Thought is the first ripple. Matter is the last condensation. Between the two lies an entire spectrum of influence. Can thought actually bend light? Directly bending light with thought is not something yogic traditions encouraged or demonstrated publicly. Not because it is not impossible, but because it is irrelevant. The yogic approach was subtler. Instead of forcing light to move, they altered perception of light. Instead of bending matter, they dissolved identification with it. When perception changes, reality rearranges itself naturally. A yogi does not try to overpower nature. They synchronize with it. Why matter responds to inner states? Matter appears solid, but it is mostly empty space. Atoms are vast distances of nothingness, held together by forces we barely understand. Yogis observed that when the mind becomes absolutely still, the body feels lighter. Boundaries soften. Pain reduces. Gravity feels negotiable. This is not imagination. It is reduced resistance. When resistance drops, matter behaves differently. Why most people never experience this? Because thought is scattered. One moment fear, one moment desire, one moment memory, one moment imagination. Such fragmented thought has no coherence. Yogic traditions insisted that only a focused, stabilized mind generates influence. Random thoughts cancel each other out. Aligned thoughts amplify. This is why disciplined practices were essential. not belief, not emotion, but precision. The danger of misunderstanding. This power here is where yogic wisdom becomes cautious. If people believe thoughts can manipulate matter without inner balance, ego takes over, fear increases, delusion multiplies. This is why yogis never glorified supernatural abilities. They treated them as side effects, distractions on the path. Because bending light means nothing if you are still bent by fear. At the deepest level of realization, the question itself dissolves. When there is no separation between observer and observed, between thinker and thought, between consciousness and creation, there is nothing to bend. Light, matter, mind all arise from the same source, and in the realization, control is replaced by communion. So, can thoughts bend light or matter? The yogic answer is more profound than yes or no. A restless mind cannot bend anything. A conscious being does not need to. Reality responds not to force but to alignment. If this video expanded how you see thought and reality, share it with someone who still believes the mind is powerless. Like the video if it changed your assumptions, and subscribe for more deep explorations into yogic wisdom, mystic musings, and the unseen mechanics of existence. Because the greatest power is not bending the universe, it is realizing you were never separate from it.